Hello, salam, shalom, namaste, sat sri akal, aloha, and I learned a new way to say hello today. Hola. So, hola, and I'm so happy to be with you again today. We are, before I get into what we're going to talk about today, let me introduce myself just in case you don't know me. So, my name is Samia Bano, and I am your happiness expert and author of the book Make Change Fun and Easy: How to Create Inner Peace to World Peace in 3 Simple Steps. So, if you have already been watching the last couple of weeks, then you know that in these broadcasts, I picked a quote and now I'm breaking it down. So there's so many amazing lessons to be learned from this one quote that I was like, you know what? I cannot cover it all in one broadcast. So I've been breaking it down. Now, what's the quote? This is actually a quote by the Prophet Muhammad. And here it is. Prophet Muhammad said, "Wondrous is the affair of the believer, for there is good for them in every matter, and this is not the case with anyone except the believer. If they are happy, then they thank God, and thus there is good for them. And if they are harmed, then they show patience, and thus there is good for them." Okay, so one more time. Wondrous is the affair of the believer, for there is good for them in every matter. And this is not the case with anyone except the believer. If they're happy, then they thank God, and thus there is good for them. And if they're harmed, then they show patience, and thus there is good for them. Okay? All right, so the part that I'm going to focus on today is if they are happy, then they thank God, and thus there is good for them. So if they're happy, then they thank God, and thus there is good for them. So I think this notion is fairly intuitive. I think most people will intuitively understand why this might be the case. But let's see if we can get some maybe deeper insight today. Okay. So when I think about being happy, and in that moment of feeling happiness, to thank God, like, yeah, yeah, you know, like, doesn't that just make you even more happy? I think so. It does for me. Why? I think the main reason, I think there's 2 reasons. But I think the number one reason why it makes me even happier, and why, even beyond just my happiness, this word or this saying claims that, by when I thank God when I'm happy, there's good in that, or that comes out of that for me, right? So, what is that good? What is that good? Um, and so, like, I think about it from this perspective: the happiness that I'm feeling, what's the source of that happiness? Well, as a Muslim, we're taught to believe that God, one of the characteristics or names of God as we know God, is that God is the source of peace. His name, the Arabic name that we associate with this quality of God, is As-Salam, the source of peace. And in fact, I believe that God is also our source of love and happiness and joy and really every other good feeling that we have and all the blessings and amazing goodness that we experience in our lives. So if God is the source of all the happiness and love and joy and goodness that we are experiencing, then it makes a lot of sense to thank God when we feel aware of that happiness. True or true, you know? And then so this is pretty much as far as I got with my own thinking. And then one day, one of my mentors, I was learning from one of my mentors, and he pointed out that, when you are experiencing joy, peace, happiness, or anything you think is a blessing from God, it's not just a blessing from God. There's actually more to it. There's more to it. Um, this blessing or happiness or good feeling that you're experiencing is actually a manifestation of or an expression of God loving you and taking care of you. Isn't that amazing to think about? It's like whenever I'm feeling happy, that is actually a tangible experience that I'm having of being loved and taken care of by God. Isn't that amazing? Yes. Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode. Hope you're getting value out of it. For your information, this episode has been sponsored by the Happiness 101 program. Are you a change maker, coach, trainer, or healer? Are chains of fear holding you back from making the impact and income you desire? Using a unique combination of positive psychology and the spiritual wisdom of our most effective change makers, the Happiness 101 program helps you break through your limiting beliefs and manifest the abundance and success you desire with fun and ease. Interested? Book a free Happiness 101 exploration call with me, your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Just use my online calendar link in the show notes. Now, back to the show. So, if it truly is, if that's something you can believe and experience and feel, then doesn't it make sense to reciprocate in whatever way you can the love that God is showering on you in that moment? And so how can I shower some love on God? God is free of all needs. That's what Muslims are taught. God doesn't need anything from me as such. But one thing that I can do is express gratitude, express thanks, you know? And so by expressing gratitude and cultivating that feeling of thankfulness within myself, when I feel happy, when I recognize that I'm being blessed and loved and taken care of, that's my way of loving God back. And when you make this relationship reciprocal in this way, so it's not just God showering you with all the love and blessings, but you are also responding to that through your gratitude and your thankfulness, then you see it actually deepens the experience of love that you have, and it deepens and improves the quality of the relationship. It makes it even more loving. And so the more loving your relationship gets, the more benefits you experience, you know? So there is so much good that we actually are able to cultivate for ourselves by being thankful and grateful, in a very conscious way. Anytime we find ourselves aware of something that makes us happy in our lives, and really you can, if you're not Muslim, or if you're not really into, if you don't have a concept of God as a, divine being in your life that interacts with you in this kind of way, no worries, no worries. Think about it. Think about this principle, right? This idea of cultivating gratitude and thanking uh, people in your life when you feel happy and blessed, um, or just receiving when you feel or acknowledge or experience that you are at the receiving end of some love and care from someone, in your life, whether it's your parents or your friends or, co-workers, whoever it might be in the world. It might even be a stranger in the street or the clerk at the grocery store who gives you an extra smile and makes you feel more cheerful, because of their happy attitude at work. So you can feel touched and loved and cared for in so many different situations and by so many different people in your life throughout the day, every day, right? And so anytime you feel touched, by that sense of love and care being given to you, when you reciprocate that by acknowledging it, being grateful for it, thanking the person that you're receiving that love and care from, it'll be so helpful in improving your relationships with them and improving the quality of your life. There's another way. I mentioned that there's two ways I think this really works and why it works. So this is also another way, even if you don't, believe in the concept of God as I do. This is another way that you can think about why this notion really works. You know, so this I don't know who the author of this saying is, but this is a saying: what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. I learned it from one of my teachers, mentors, Harv Eker. Okay, he says it all the time. What you focus on expands, right? And so in this context, what we're talking about is focusing in on whatever is making us happy, And when you focus in on it, the happiness expands. And, like the sense of gratitude, when you tap into that gratitude attitude and you focus on that sense of gratitude that you have, guess what, even that expands. You start out by being grateful, feeling grateful for one thing, but because you're focusing on that sense of gratitude, you find even more things to be grateful for in your life. you know if you find like you're focusing on one person who's helping you feel more loved and cared for in that moment, maybe because you're focusing on that good thing, maybe you will find even more amazing things about this person that through which this person expresses their love and care for you. Or you might begin to be conscious of even more people in your life besides this person in this moment who make you feel loved and cared for, right? So there's so many different ways in which what you focus on will expand and can expand in your life, thereby multiplying many, many fold the sense of happiness that you have and the sense of blessings that you have in your life and so forth. Okay, so that was the main point that I wanted to make today. I hope you found it super helpful. Again, as usual, I encourage you to chat with me, leave me your comments and so forth. If any thoughts and feelings are coming up for you,